All right. Hello once again, everyone, and welcome to the second session of our Black Friday and Cyber Monday webinar mini-series. I'm really excited to see all of you back again for this one, in case you weren't here in the first session but are joining in today. The same, I'm really happy to see you here. And overall, I'm really excited, and especially because we have these amazing guests with us today. A little bit of a spoiler alert, and let's jump right in without any further ado and talk about how to maximize sales during this year's busiest season. Okay, before we start, as always, a bit of an intro. My name's Alexi. I'm the senior product expert here at Omnisend, working behind Omnisend Academy. And I am joined, just like in the first session, by George, the manager of our customer success team. I don't think he needs too much of an introduction anymore at this point. He's got lots of experience working with large brands and small brands. And yeah, I will let you do the talking, George.
Thanks, Lexi. Really excited to kick off this the second series. You know, we had a really great one last week, and we have some really exciting things in terms of content and special guests as well. So excited about that.
All right, thank you so much, George. Everyone, raise a hand if you're excited for George. I love seeing him on webinars. I think he is a really interesting guest to listen to because of how many years of experience he's got in the field. All right, everyone, thank you so much. I also see a couple of hellos in the chat. Everyone, don't feel shy. Feel free to go into the chat and say hi, tell us where you're from, what you're expecting out of today's session. Let's interact, everyone. As I said, not only an informative webinar today, but also a bit of an entertaining one, right? I want everyone to feel good and have a lot of fun today. And I also promised on LinkedIn, there was a little bit of posting on LinkedIn about today's webinar, that there would be a special guest, a surprise guest that we weren't planning to invite for today's webinar, but then thought, why not? Let's have more email marketing experts per square meter and invite in Gabe Macaluso, our director of customer success here at Omnisend. Once again, Gabe, I think, is someone who doesn't need an introduction at this point. He's probably worked with several of you in the past at Omnisend here, and overall is just a great guy, as I said in one of our previous webinars. Gabe, feel free to say hi and let us know how you feel.
Hi, Lexi. Thank you so much for having me today. Super excited to participate in today's conversation. And a special shout out to our friend in Raleigh-Durham, Evergreen Hudson, because I just moved to Charleston from Apex. So Raleigh-Durham's got a special place in my heart. But excited to chat about Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and all things holiday.
That's awesome. Thank you so much once again for taking the time to join us today, Gabe. And as we like to say with you, let's geek out about some email, shall we? All right, let's jump in. Now, one thing, Gabe, I think your audio was a bit echoey there. So if you could speak a bit closer to the microphone going forward, I think that would help us hear you better. And before we start today's session, I want to do a quick recap of the previous one, because maybe some of you weren't here last Tuesday and Gabe definitely wasn't. So to make sure that we're all on the same page here, here's what we talked about last time. Number one, we started with why Black Friday and Cyber Monday is so important. Of course, it is the busiest time of the year for e-commerce and for commerce in general. A lot of people are shopping. A lot of people have high purchase intent to shop, and we as marketers have to take full advantage of this time period. Number two, we talked about the absolutely essential cornerstone strategies for success for this year's Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and made fun of how unnecessarily long that sentence is. And essentially, there are just three things. Make sure that your store is ready with a pop-up form to collect emails of those interested shoppers browsing your store, but maybe not quite ready to make a purchase. Make sure that you're collecting those emails and marketing to those people during Black Friday and later throughout the year. Number two, put together a content calendar to make sure that you're actually planning things out and, knowing what are you going to send out tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, etc., other than in comparison to just spontaneously coming up with email ideas. That's going to be much more effective, right? And number three, make sure that your automations are also ready and, tweak a few things here and there to make them more Black Friday and Cyber Monday themed. If your pop-up form is saying sign up for $10 off your Black Friday and Cyber Monday purchase, make sure that your welcome automation is delivering $10 off for Black Friday and Cyber Monday only. Deal ends in 24 hours or something like that. Throw in a little bit of an urgency factor in there. And that takes me to the third point, which is how to stand out among the noise. Everyone is going to be marketing. Everyone's going to be sending tons and tons of emails during this busy time of the year. So you have to make sure that you're including some urgency into your emails, making sure that people feel like they need to take action right now and buy right now. Otherwise, they might miss out on the amazing offers. Use SMS. It's a hugely unexplored channel that is, when there's so much email fatigue, so many emails going out every day from so many different brands, SMS is your best way, is like a shortcut to your reader's face, right in front of their nose, right? And number three, what was there for how to stand out among the noise? We also talked about the fact that you need to know your buyers' personas. So think about who your buyers are, who your fans are, what they need, how your brand can help them, what problems it helps to solve those people, and make sure that your marketing is relevant in that regard. Now, number four, we talked about iOS 15, the impact of that on Black Friday marketing. Nothing to be afraid of, nothing scary. We thought the impact would be much larger, but still take your open rates with a grain of salt. They're going to be a bit higher than they really are because of the iOS 15 privacy changes. And finally, number five, don't forget the post-purchase we talked about, that you have to make sure that your customer experience is complete, that you're following up with your buyers with an order confirmation, which is also a great place to include an invitation to leave a review or some sort of feedback, to include some upsells or cross sells, and to say thank you to everyone who makes you have an amazing Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So that's everything. I hope that about covers it, right? I don't think I missed anything too important. And in case you want to rewatch that session, and I highly recommend that, in case you missed it, it's full of really great information and really great tips and tricks for this year's Black Friday and Cyber Monday. You can watch the recording at academy.omnisend.com. Just scroll down to the playlist called Webinar Recordings, and you will see this beautiful image on there. All right, I think that's enough talking about the previous session, and I'm going to try to wrap this intro up so that we can get into the good stuff as soon as possible. The agenda for today is much more simpler. In fact, is much more simple. In fact, I think I could have written all of this in just one bullet point, but what agenda would that be where there's just one bullet point? But really, we're just going to look at examples today and talk about what makes those examples great, what makes them drive great results, what makes those brands successful. That's why I am so excited that we not only have me and George, we also have Gabe. So we're going to have another extra point of view, another extra person who is going to be able to come up with a few more insights than just two people, right? Three is better than two, okay? So one last thing from me, the recording will be shared with you by email in 24 hours, as always. So in case you missed something, no worries. We're going to follow up and make sure that you can go and rewatch whatever you miss. And let's jump right in. Okay, I think I've done enough talking for now. Sorry for taking up so much time. George, you can kick it off with the first example here that you've got for us today.
Thanks, Alexi. Really appreciate it. So the first example we have here is from a brand called Batdorf & Bronson, and what they sell coffee online. And one of the things that Alexi mentioned in the recap and that we talked about last week are buyer personas. So what they're doing here is they have this unique coffee blend that's dedicated to the holidays. It's called the Holiday Blend. Last year, they had something very similar that saw a lot of success, and they leveraged segmentation to send this out to people that bought that holiday blend last year. And more importantly, what they're doing is not just targeting the right audience that maybe purchased this last year and be interested in it again, but one of the things that I talk about a lot and preach is to move away from being an e-commerce company and becoming a brand. What do brands do really well? They create an image of a vision of what they're looking to do. And a great way to do that is to generate content. So what they're doing here is making their contacts aware of this new blend, this holiday blend that's coming out. And then what they do for all of their different coffee products they come out with is have this PDF one pager that goes into the history of why they came up with it, how they create this campaign. So generating a lot of content there, and not just pushing messaging to their contacts to sell something. So they're doing a really good job here in terms of making that CTA very clear, concise, compelling, and they're also using some holiday colors, which are really great. And then as you can see here, right, with the subject line, holiday blend is here, right? It's short, sweet, to the point, and really reflects what that overall messaging is there.
And I really love that you included a Christmas theme. Sorry to interrupt you there, Gabe.
Okay.
I love that you included a Christmas themed example for us today, because remember, one of the things we talked about in the previous session is that you have to start early as possible. Now, at this point, there's not much time until Black Friday and Cyber Monday, but there's still a lot of time before the holiday season. So if you want to start early, you can already start with your holiday promotions.
Yeah, one of the things that we mentioned last week, just to reiterate again, by the time Thanksgiving happens, 55% of shoppers have already started their online shopping. So it's important to get a jump start on those marketing initiatives. But if you are a little bit late, right, to the party, just because Thanksgiving hits doesn't mean that they're done shopping. That just means that they have started shopping and you can continue to reach out to them.
Totally. Do you have anything to add to this one, Gabe?
Yeah, so I love this example, and hopefully my audio is better. I'm going to try to speak quietly and concisely and clearly so everyone can hear me good. But what I love about this is actually like a wholesale company, and they do have a direct-to-consumer brand as well, but this is their wholesale. And oftentimes, a lot of the retailers we work with do have a wholesale arm. So just remember that as you're going through this holiday season, you can do a lot of the same sort of mentality and marketing strategies that you do on your D2C side or your B2B business, that your wholesale business. And so, obviously slight tweaks, but if the direct-to-consumer side wanted to take the same email, obviously you would just change that call to action to go specifically to the store. So I love this example because oftentimes, we think that like it's such a disconnect between our wholesale and our direct-to-consumer business. And ultimately, like, there's still a person at the end of that business that's making the purchasing decision. So there's a ton of strategies you can overlap, and this is just one way to go about it. So don't forget your wholesale people. We know that a big portion of a lot of people's business comes from that wholesale perspective, and there's still one person clicking that button to purchase. So speak to them, communicate with them, use that brand voice to connect with them. It's still going to drive a lot of revenue for you, and just slight tweaks, and you can use it as a double purpose.
I love that they made it really easy and obvious in regards to how to contact them for a price, right? Because as you said, this is a wholesale email promotion, and they are catering to those people specifically. And they make sure that it's easy to find that contact us form. All right, let's go on to the next one. I really love this example. Thank you so much for bringing this one up, George. I love coffee, so I love emails that are coffee related.
So the next brand we have here is Rockform. What they do is they provide cases for different, devices. A lot of them are, mobile devices like iPhones, but tablets as well, a little bit. But what I really love about this is that there's not a lot of noise here, right? What they're doing, in the subject line is talking a little bit about what their product is doing, right? It's giving you confidence that your phone is going to be safe, and they're putting that in the message as well. So holiday season is here, shop with confidence. There's a little bit of synergy there between what their goal is as a brand and what they're trying to say in this message. And again, like the last email that we just saw, we're seeing some holiday themes here. You see a little bit of snow and winter in the background, the red, the white. But the thing that I really, really love about this message in particular are the different value adds that they're showing. So at the top of the email, you can barely see it, but just to give you a little bit of context, there's 2 different shipping options that you can have as a consumer. If you spend over $49, you get free shipping. If there's orders over $99, you get 2-day free FedEx shipping. So those are different value adds that you can add, and it's not necessarily has to be, giving a certain product away for free, like a buy one, get one, or a percentage off. right? Making your subscribers aware of all of the different value adds that you're going to be having this holiday season is going to be very impactful. The next piece that they show, they're extending the return and exchange window, another value add. That's something that's not going to cost you any money, right? That you can go ahead and build that relationship and get that conversion with. So they're extending that to January 31st. Really do love this email a lot.
Yeah, and to pile on top of this, I mean, things that you guys can point out here too, and the evolution of email marketing is constantly shifting and changing. So when you go through, and obviously deliverability is going to be a huge impact in your holiday sending schedule. But what I want you to notice with this email is there's no text to image ratio, right? All of this is an image. So don't panic, don't stress. If you have good engagement, if you're segmenting your contacts well and you're sending to engaged users, you're not purchasing or renting lists. I always bring this up around holiday season. It's super tempting to grow your list really fast. Don't ever, ever, ever purchase or rent a list. It'll guarantee you, just about guarantee you getting put in the spam box, which if no one sees your emails, even your loyal list, you're not going to make any sales. So that's my little side note there, a little asterisk, if you will. But what's beautiful about this email is they know their users, they know they're going to be engaged. And don't be afraid to have fun with it. Have fun with your brand voice. A lot of you are in this business because you have a passion for it and you can tell your story. So, the subject line, this is easy, it's perfect, it kind of fits the brand voice. But you can also have a lot of fun with this too, like don't be left out in the cold. People love puns. So if you can squeeze a pun into it, definitely do that, especially around holiday season. And then emojis as well will always perform well, especially at holiday season, because you're going to get so many emails that'll kind of help you stand out. Now, more emojis doesn't mean better. We've seen Wayfair do it where they add like 400 emojis. It definitely causes attention to them, but that's not necessarily the best solution here. The other thing I love about this design is you can very easily say, okay, let's say they send this out on Monday before Black Friday. So they're doing like an early sale, right? Go ahead and start your holiday shopping. You can very easily change the copy in the bottom part with like holiday shopping now with confidence. Exclude your recent purchasers. Sorry, Jim, I'm really sorry about the echo. we try our best. We have a new office and we're doing our best. So I appreciate the feedback. We'll definitely fix that. So, and we do read this comment. So anyway, back to this. With the holiday shopping now with confidence, you can easily change that copy and literally use the exact same creative and get another message going out throughout the week to kind of re-engage this buyer or re-engage the contacts on your list that haven't yet purchased.
I think one thing you could do, Gabe, is try talking closer to your laptop. And we have tested around this with George. And literally when he puts his mouth closer to the laptop, it gets so much better. So try around doing that, or just taking off your headphones.
Yeah. Let's see if this works better.
That's definitely louder. That's good.
That's better. It's louder.
All right. Thank you so much for bringing this up, Jim. We don't know how we sound. We don't hear ourselves. So thank you so much for being transparent and letting us know that's something not right in the comments. Now, Gabe, you taught me well. We totally did talk about the fact that you shouldn't buy contact lists for the holiday season. So you taught me well. I definitely did mention that. Okay, let's move on to the next example. And this one's a bit longer. So George, once again, take it over, walk us through this one.
Yeah, so Miss Lola, they are a women's apparel company. Generally speaking, I'm not a big fan of emails that are this long, but there are some really great ideas in here that a lot of you can really leverage and a lot of different strategies. So the first thing that they're doing in the subject line is putting an exact time frame into when the pre-sale expires, right? As opposed to just saying it expires soon, 24 hours. Put hard, concrete numbers behind that. It's going to create more urgency, which is going to create more engagement. So really do like that subject line there. What else I like, what you can see is in the second image in the middle, towards the bottom, what they have are different influencers online that match their, that promote some of their products. And they have their handles on there. So they're going outside and going outside of what they normally do in terms of marketing, which is just email. And they're making people aware that, hey, we also have this social presence. And here are people that are big influencers that follow us. Check them out, right? Making that readily available. But the thing that I really, really like about this is they have a partnership with a company called Afterpay. So Afterpay allows you as the consumer to make a purchase for a product and then do installment payments of that. In this case, it's 4 equal payments over the course of time with 0 interest at all. With the holiday season here, everybody's shopping. That's a great offer, right? Another great perk to working with Miss Lola, reducing the friction for the consumers to make that purchase. They're not giving them excuses not to buy, right? So they have that great financing option. Then they also have a location in Los Angeles, a physical store. So they're bringing more value for customers that want to do maybe curbside pickup, or if they want to give that those customers want that personal recommendation or feel, they're encouraging people to go into the store with the VIP in-store experience, right? Speak to an associate to give you that experience you're looking for. And they're also adding in free worldwide shipping, and then also, right, guaranteeing happiness. It's a small little thing, but that makes a big difference. So really like the different value adds that they're having here and making them really visible in terms of the entire message.
Yep, this is something we talked about in the previous session as well, that building trust and social proof is really, really big for getting people to buy overall, not just through email. Trust, and for a better word, lack of trust, is the biggest reason why people don't buy certain products. So if you cannot build that trust, you're not going to be able to get people to become fans of your business and fans of your product. So I didn't note in the previous example, but that one was also mostly built on trust. We guarantee you that you're going to love our products. If you don't, you have until January 31st. You have so much time to return it and get a refund. Completely no way that we're going to scam you or something like that.
Yeah, and I really like this email too, in that they're at the very top of the email is their call to action. So when you talk about creating enough content or not having enough content to send multiple campaigns, because of the length of this email, you could very easily, use that first section where it's the 40% off with that hero image as one email. Then the next day go, hey, we're continuing our sale with new arrivals. And then go another one and go, still haven't found something you like. Here's our recommended categories. I mean, you could literally take this one email and create 3 different emails, and there's your content creation. So don't feel like you have to overload it. As we go through a number of these emails and resources, and there's a number out there, Pinterest is one of my favorite, and you search holiday emails, you can absolutely see how simple some of your favorite brands keep things, because let's be real, shoppers are lazy and they need to be told exactly what to do. So clear call to action, clear discount, and just keep it as simple as possible.
I totally agree with that. I often go on to reallygoodemails.com to search for what the big guys are doing. That's one of the best ways to learn, right? Other than like having a mentor and working with other great experienced people, is just looking at what the biggest guys in the industry are doing and copying something here, something there, something from another email. And there you go. You've got your own style of writing amazing emails. So I often look at really, really huge brands like Apple and Nike, and their emails, sometimes they're really long and informative like this one. But for the most part, I would say 80% of their emails are really, really short. They have at maximum 3 to 4 sentences of text in the main part, not counting that bottom footer that they have to comply with the law. Other than that, just a few sentences of text, a couple of CTAs, and that's it. Really simple emails. If the big guys are doing that, that means that we can also get away with writing really short emails. Now, I wonder with this really, really long, compelling email, I wonder how often are these guys sending? Do you know, George?
Fairly frequently, a few times a week.
Because that's a lot of content to prepare 3 times a week or 4 times a week.
Yeah, it is, but they have, they're fortunate enough to have the resources to, create that type of content. And just, I want to add one more thing too here. If you're looking at this email and thinking, well, it's great what you guys are saying, but I really don't know how to shorten up my emails, right? Just stick to what I like to call the 3 C's of marketing success, right? Take a look at what your message is going to be, right? Create that ideation for what that message is. Then make sure that it's clear, concise, and compelling. And if you follow that framework and those rules, that'll give you a foundation for how to make emails or SMS messages or any type of marketing a lot shorter and concise.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, George. And thank you for the content repurposing tips, Gabe, as well on this one. Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, we have a Premier Grilling here. So what they sell are grilling accessories, and they're taking full advantage of next week and Thanksgiving. Subject line, really captivating. Thanksgiving essentials, right? Anybody that knows them is going to want to know, what essentials they need to have a successful Thanksgiving. And the first image you see right there are, the different products that they have that are great, where somebody can click on very easily. Below that, they're adding some additional value in there. So it's more about content that they're delivering. Now you have to pay for this content in terms of taking these cooking classes, but it's another way that they're expanding out into other areas to engage their guests. So I really love that they're incorporating that in here. And then below that, right, in the second message, you can see those specific items that they're talking about that are essentials for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and they're doing a lot of cool things here. So this is probably one of my favorite brands to watch and just see, because they've taken things. So if you're a brand that's taken any sort of private equity, live shopping is sort of the buzzword, or one of the buzzwords in terms of marketing strategy that people are really kind of encouraging people to do. And so I feel like the live cooking classes are a good way to kind of approach live shopping without feeling like you're alone on Facebook or Instagram trying to do a QVC bit. So this to me is interesting, because those people have already committed to spending money, so they're going to attend, and then they're already in the mood to spend money. So if you're recommending products during that live cooking class, could be a live sewing class, could be a styling class, a number of different things that you can kind of share your passion with, gives you an opportunity to sell more in a gentle nurture cross-sell aspect of it. The other thing I love about this email, and you could very easily tweak some of these things where it's, Thanksgiving essentials, but this is really kind of, you're buying it for yourself, which, is a way that you can kind of play around with holiday sending. So if you're a makeup brand or a clothing brand, as you come up into holiday and you're getting ready for Thanksgiving, make sure you have the outfit for a good first impression, treat yourself kind of mentality. As you get closer to the holiday, like, get this for someone you love, or get this for the special person in your life. And then as you get closer to the holiday, right, then it's, last minute gift tips, last minute gift ideas, last minute treat yourself kind of thing. Or after the holidays finish and you're kind of in that weird dead season between Christmas Day and New Year's, where people will spend a lot of money on Christmas Day because they got gifts, or kind of in that mood and that mentality. That's where you can go, man, you deserve a break. You've busted your butt this holiday season. So here's one last gift from us to you. Treat yourself and kind of, pat yourself on the back for making it through this crazy holiday season. Those are little tips and tricks, like in terms of your marketing mentality, that you can leverage. And again, this allows you to repurpose that content, allows you to kind of create more emails and have reasons to communicate with your customer database without feeling like you're just sending an email to send an email. And okay, you've given 20% off, you've upped it to 40%. Are you supposed to go to 60% now to have a discount? And you don't have to give discounts, as long as you're kind of catering your brand voice to make sure that you're taking care of your customers. It's an easy, super easy way to kind of do that gentle customer touch and have that personal connection during the holiday season.
I love that. That's why I love having you both on webinars. That's so much experience there in just a couple of sentences. Now, from my personal side, what I would add is, in more simpler terms, it's like a win-win situation, right? You're doing a cross-sell of another range of products that you have, which is the paid cooking classes, but you're also providing value in that to your people who might be busy, who do not have time to Google around for hours trying to find the perfect recipe. They're paying for this. It's $100, $150, which means it has to be good. So it's a no-brainer. I better spend $100 than waste hours trying to find a good one and go through this where someone is going to tell me exactly what to do. So you're providing value, and obviously people are giving you monetary value in return, and it's just amazing. Everyone is happy. And also I wanted to point out that, and this might sound really stupid or really simple compared to what you guys talked about, but I love that they did not just do what everyone else is doing, saying, Black Friday, our grilling essentials are on sale. But they thought, well, what do people need the grilling tools and grilling things for? They needed to cook. And when do people cook? For Thanksgiving. So they said, hey, you need these things because you're gonna need to cook on Thanksgiving. So better stock up on the best grilling gear so you have a better time cooking for your family and having a good time. So I really love that they took this, more smart approach, not just doing what everyone else is doing and being, a millionth brand saying, hey, Black Friday sale. All right, let's move on to the next one and see what else have we got.
So this is Peaceful Hooligan. They are a men's apparel company. And again, right, what I love here is they're getting as specific as possible in terms of deadline. So the subject line doesn't really depict that, but what you can see down at the bottom in the first picture is an actual time clock that's counting down the days, hours, minutes, and seconds before that sale is over. Very easy and creative way to just build urgency. Outside of that, what I kind of like they have, and this might be a little subtle, you may not get this at first, but this is a pre-Black Friday deal, and they're using black and white as a color scheme in here to kind of represent, the Black Friday idea. So that play on words with black coloring. And then lastly, right, another value add, right? If somebody can save money by using points and shopping with that, perfect. So they're making that well aware in the second page by talking about their rewards program and informing customers, right, that, hey, if you don't want to use your money, you can use your points as well. And then it also kind of promotes the points and loyalty side to people that may not have made those purchases or used those points before. So there's a double-pronged approach there that's worked really well.
Yeah, and I love this email. Besides that, George is the Instagram model in the middle there. No, but people, when you're buying products, we often read reviews, right? It's kind of a go-to, and we read the best reviews and we read the worst reviews. And so this little block of social media content at the bottom of the email definitely gives the, effect of social proof, right? If they're willing to show you all of these different social channels, you can click on those, check them out. How are people interacting with the brand? Those types of things. Now, I do caution you. I know it's sort of marketing 101 that if you have a Facebook page, a Twitter, Instagram handle, you include all of these in your email. But when was the last time you posted content on those channels? So if Instagram is your sole channel, then focus on Instagram. Take screenshots and use the images of your last 3 posts and just kind of lean heavily on Instagram because that's the channel that you're actively engaging on. A number of times I've worked with brands and I'll click on their Twitter and it links to the owner of the brand. And the last time they tweeted was 2018 and they have 4 followers. You don't need to link to your Twitter just to link to your Twitter. Focus on the one channel that you have and make sure that there's good engagement there. If there's not a good engagement there, then copy some of your reviews. 5-star reviews. This is the best fitting jacket I've ever worn in my life. These are the best pants. This makeup, made me look 10 years younger. Whatever you want to include in there, it's okay. You don't have to have like a review plugin. People are okay with images, but it just kind of validates that brand. It's kind of what we saw in Miss Lola, where they're kind of giving that, here's our guarantee, this is how we're going to take care of you. Let your user-generated content do that for you. And so this is a very easy way to kind of implement that. And Peaceful Hooligan does a good job, subtle, but it fits with the brand theme and the voice of the design of the email.
I'm also very big on providing the most important piece of information right away above the fold in as few words as possible, right? And they have done this to perfection here. If I'm a follower of this brand and I want to buy some new clothes and I am waiting for their Black Friday sale to go live, I will be keeping an eye on my email inbox. And as soon as I see this email, I open it up, I see pre-Black Friday, online now, view all and save. That's all I need to know. Now, if I want to read more, if I need some urgency to get me to buy, or if I need some more selling points like the loyalty program and some social proof, I also have that option of scrolling further and checking out all of that information. But if all I need is just, hey, the sale is live, go shop, I will have that in a split second here with this minimal design. And I really, really love that. All right. And also the offer ends tonight in the subject line, right? I'm not sure if I missed that or if you mentioned that, George, but it also adds up. It makes a really coherent connection of the subject line to the content of the email, where it's the countdown until the end of the sale. So it all kind of plays together into driving that urgency. Do you have anything to add to this one, or shall we move to the next one?
I mean, I think kind of going on our recurring theme of repurposing content as well. Don't hesitate to send out a pre-sale, right? Like sales coming soon, or utilize social media channels to say, hey, our pre-Black Friday is going to go live in 12 hours. The first people to know are going to be the folks on our email list, our SMS list, and link them to a landing page where they can sign up so you can help build your email list. Use those social channels to kind of augment what you guys are doing across the different channels, rather than, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, a little bit different, but if you have a big sale, you don't have to post it on all your channels, because then what you can end up doing is actually cannibalizing your audience. Because if I get all the content I need from your brand and Instagram, maybe I'm going to unsubscribe from your emails or SMS. Or if I'm an avid email and SMS user, maybe I stop following you on Instagram if all I see on your Instagram feed is sale, 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 and it's the same content. So it's okay to use it in both channels, but try to kind of play the channels against each other to build your email list, and then send emails to build your Instagram list, because there's going to be exclusives on each channel.
That's awesome. Solid advice. Thank you so much, Gabe. And let's move on to the next one. All right, there we go. So yeah, I think this is that was the last example that George has pulled up for us. And I've also got a few that I got sent from our customer success team. Some of our colleagues submitted their favorite emails, and this one is from iRocker. They sell paddle boards, and this is just a very simple, very minimalistic email. I think that this is more on the level of anyone can put this one together. Some of the previous ones were like great designs and really, really long emails. This one is super simple and nothing too advanced about this one. And that's why I wanted to include this one today. And once again, we have all of the most important information above the fold, Black Friday deals, up to $250 off all inflatable paddle boards. That's a really huge number. And I've seen data that when you're doing really, really high discounts, dollar-based discounts, fixed dollar amount discounts work better than percentage-based discounts. Percentage-based works best at around 20 to 25% off. That's something that we talked about in the previous session. And when your products are in the higher price range, it works really, really well to go for fixed dollar amount discounts. And then they make it really easy and convenient to go and shop the paddle boards of your liking. They have 3 different types that they sell, 3 different categories. So they include all 3 names here, and then some pictures, kind of that social proof, again, people actually using the products, and a shop now CTA at the end. What do you have to add to this one, George, Gabe?
I really like, if you look at the first image on the top right there, again, a little subtle, but it's still there. It's not just all about selling, it's providing value in other areas. So they have a blog, they have reviews, they're proud of them because they're making them known and putting those in this content. So I really like that.
Yeah, I mean, if I was nitpicking this, I would say, you can always duplicate that shop now button and have that at the top. Or if they put like a shop now on top of the picture with the dog. But it fits exactly with the brand voice, right? And who doesn't love pets? So anytime you can include a dog, that's always a win. And if you look at the subject line, we see our first emoji example, right? So TikTok, the little clock in there fits it well. And this is a really, really fun brand, and they kind of elude that funness throughout the brand. If you're trying to figure out your brand voice. One of the analogies I use, and George knows I love analogies, I love a good story. Think about your brand as a kid in high school, and like what high school stereotype is your brand? And does your subject line, does your copy, does your color themes, do they evoke that sort of high school stereotype? Because there's no wrong or right stereotype, but it fits that brand voice. And how do you use that? What type of words are you using across the board? Like I've worked, one of the stories I love to tell is I worked with a high-end lighting brand, like $60,000, $70,000 chandeliers. And they tried to do an April Fool's joke where it said your order has shipped. That was not the right clientele for that to work, right? Like not at all. But this brand, like they could get away with an April Fool's. It's a playful brand. It's about being outdoors. They're including pictures of the dogs, the color theme, like that works. So just be mindful of that and kind of think through that as you're writing your copy. It doesn't have to be complicated. As George mentioned, keep it concise, but just make those call to actions super easy and have fun with it. That's the biggest thing, is have fun. Holidays should be fun. Make it enjoyable for all of us, and create an experience for your shoppers so that they remember you not only at holiday, but throughout the year. And then come around next holiday again, they're going to be willing to buy with you again because they had such a good experience.
That's awesome. That's hilarious, Gabe. And I totally agree with you that this email is not perfect. And there's some things that we could have improved, like putting the shop now button a bit higher, or duplicating it and putting it a copy a bit higher. Also, I would work on the color scheme here, because we see colors all over the place. We see blue here, then we see green, red, green again, maybe a bit of a different shade of green, it seems like. Then we also see pictures. So to make sure that we're kind of putting the attention of our reader into tunnel vision, I would use a bit less different colors for this one. But other than that, I really love this. Is a really a really simple example that I think any of you in the audience would be able to replicate. And yep, the emoji in the subject line is good as well. Now, the next example that I've got for us is from Distorted People. This is an example that Gintare, one of our other manager of customer success, submitted to me, and she said that Distorted People is one of her favorite brands, and she keeps submitting examples from Distorted People to me. So I just had to include some of them in today's webinar. And I think that their Black Friday emails are really, really good. And I mean, everything that I like seeing in emails. All right, so we'll start with the subject line: the clearance sale, Black Friday weeks start now. Super clear. There's nothing that is misleading. There's something that is unclear. It's black and black. It's written in black on white. Now, in this case, it's white written on black, but whatever. The point is, it's very, very clear, and I understand what this email is about. And if I'm interested, I click without any hesitation. And here's the part that we see above the fold, right? Exactly what we saw in one of the previous examples. Only the most important information, especially because it's in a GIF format. There's not 3 lines of text on top of each other. There's just 1 line of text that keeps changing. And all I have to do is just look at this email without even having to scroll for like 3 seconds, and I will know that the Black Friday weeks are starting now, up to 80% off, shop now. And I can click on this GIF, and it acts as a CTA. It's going to take me to the store, which is another handy thing. And then the rest of the email is in German, so I would not be able to tell what is written here. But what I love is that the design is black background and a bright red CTA here at the end, which is super, super popping, and you just can't miss it.
Yeah, and I mean, it evokes holiday too, right? So red, white, green, like those are all holiday colors. So it fits perfectly with that theme. And one thing I wanted to mention on the iRocker, but I'll mention it here, is every single part of your email should be clickable. There should be nothing that you click on an email that doesn't navigate you to the site. You want to reduce hurdles as much as possible to get people to shop. And so many times I get an email with a huge hero image, and I want to click on that because I'm a human and I'm lazy, and I want to click the biggest thing I can find. And we've all been on our desktops or our laptops, and you click on it in Gmail, and the image just pops up because it's a downloadable image rather than it taking me anywhere. So that's an easy thing on your holiday checklist to make sure every single little bit of your email goes to your website. Could be your homepage, could be your clearance page, wherever you want to direct people, just make sure you make everything clickable and linkable to your site to reduce any hurdles.
Totally agree with that. Now, I actually, something that you mentioned, Gabe, before is that you can get away with sending image-only emails, although that's something that's not recommended. We always say, and it's a common best practice, that the image to text ratio should be 50-50. But I've recently been getting more and more image-only emails where they write all of the text on the image and put all of the CTAs on the image. So I'm really curious to how that really works, because I've heard from everyone and I went around asking our teammates in the deliverability team, does this actually work? Is this really true that it hurts deliverability? And they were really, really confident that that's something that shouldn't be done, but people are doing it.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing with like your big ISPs, Gmail, Hotmail, which is going to make up probably 80% of your email list, it's all about engagement. So if you're sending the email to people that want to receive your messages, the content doesn't matter. As long as your links are going to your store, that's what Gmail is going to look for. And as long as when you're sending an email, people are opening it and clicking it. Open rates are a little bit tough now with iOS 15 updates. That's a whole nother conversation. And I know there's recorded webinars on the Academy site, so you can go back and look through that kind of stuff. But, prior to iOS 15, you should be seeing like 15 to 20% open rates pretty easily. If you're kind of in the neighborhood of 4 to 8%, you really need to look at your list hygiene and really think about who you're sending emails to, right? So one of the deliverability directors I've worked with for a long time always kind of talks about like the boyfriend, girlfriend, right? So if I sign up for your email list and you send one email a week for an entire year and I don't open or click any of those emails, am I worth anything to you? Like, you've emailed me 52 times and I've done nothing with it. So is a year too long? Some people, like, I know you guys spend a lot of money on acquisition and getting people on your list, and you don't want to get rid of any of your email contacts, but you have to consider yourself, if they haven't purchased, if they haven't opened or clicked in an email in a year, why am I still excited to email them, right? Like, if you had an ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend that kept calling you 52 times and you never responded, like, you're going to be like, please stop. So, we expect people to take that action to unsubscribe, but people are lazy. They're not going to, they're going to just delete. So just, utilize the segmentation in Omnisend and think about, okay, what actually constitutes an engaged user? And how often am I emailing my engaged user database versus my larger database? So you can kind of really play around with a whole bunch of different strategies there in terms of who you're emailing, when you're emailing them, and why you're emailing them. But again, if you are getting 15, 20% open rates and solid click rates of again, with iOS 15, everything's a little bit shifted. So we are seeing click rates about like 0.5% up to like 3% is a good range. So if you're seeing those types of metrics, you're fine to send an image-based email. If you're seeing anything below that, then yeah, you want to use every lever and every trick you can, combine the text and image ratios, and just try to eliminate everything possible to get to the inbox. But the biggest thing you're going to look at is engagement. If people are opening and clicking, you'll get to the inbox.
That's really good. Thank you so much for shining some light on that, Gabe. And I've got something else from this particular brand, is the pop-up on their e-commerce store that they've put up specifically for the Black Friday period. They call it Blade Friday, and that's something that they also said inside of this email. They say Blade Friday weeks, they say Blade Friday weeks here, and they say the same thing inside of the pop-up on the store. Now, I see people dropping off every time that I speak, so I'm going to let you guys break this one down. What do you think of this pop-up, and why do you think it's good or not so good? It's definitely good.
It's following those rules of being clear, concise, and compelling. There's not a lot of verbiage in here. They actually broke down the first sentence and second sentence. So the second sentence, you can easily digest that what the value is that you're getting for giving your email address, right? There's a give and take there. You're getting that 10% off. So, like I mentioned a couple slides ago, and, Gabe mentioned as well, reducing friction as much as possible, making things easily digestible. They're doing a really good job of that here.
I really love the CTA personally, that it's not a boring sign up or subscribe. It's let me in because this is a special thing. I have to be let in. Someone has to go and let me in. All right. I really love that. And we talked in the previous session about two different ways that you can go about a pop-up form, right? You can either include an incentive like 10% off in this case, or you could make the fact that you're going to be the first to know about offers and special deals the main selling point. In this case, they use both. They say that you're going to be the first to know about the special deals and offers. And in addition, you're also going to receive that 10% off. So they're using all of the best weapons that we can for getting people to subscribe. All right. I've got another email from this same brand, and I mean, nothing too special here. A really similar design to the previous email that we looked at, but it has a bit of a different offer. This one was sent, I think, a week after that previous email, or sometime after that one. So they include some more details regarding what their Black Friday specials are going to be. In the previous one, it was just 80% off. In this one, it's a bit of a, you know, gamified offer where you have to shop for a certain amount to get a certain gift. All right. So what we see here for $100, 100 euros or more, you get a free limited edition, I think it says. Yep, unreleased crew cap for 100 euros or more, unreleased bandana shirt for 200 euros or more, and 75 euro gift card for 300 euros or more. So it's a really interesting offer that's not boring. That's not your just regular percentage off. It's making shopping in this store a bit more exciting for the holiday season as well, not just Black Friday and Cyber Monday. All right, I think we're going to cut this one short and just move on to the next example. The last one that I've got for us today, because we want to leave some time for the Q&A, right, for your live questions. In case you have any questions that you want to ask me, Gabe, or George, put them into the Q&A section. There's a separate Q&A chat inside of Zoom to make sure that it's going to be easier for us to see which questions have already been answered and which ones haven't. So we're going to wrap it up here with the last example for today and kick off the Q&A. The example is Gym Direct. This is another example that one of our CSMs submitted to me yesterday. I actually asked her to send it over. Her name is Katrina, so some of the names, some of the personalizations inside of these emails are going to be for Katrina, not me. So let's jump right in. Gym Direct is a gym equipment store based in Australia, one of the biggest, if I'm not mistaken, in Australia. And we're going to start with their pop-up. The reason I really loved this brand, looking at what they're doing for Black Friday, is because it resonates so well with what we talked about in the previous session. Pretty much all of the best, all of the most important tips that we covered are implemented in this brand's marketing. Now, obviously, some of these messages, most of these messages were sent before our session, so I cannot take credit and say that they watched our session and implemented all of our tips. But the point I'm trying to make is the big guys, and this is a really big brand, their revenue numbers with Omnisend are really big. I'm not sure if I can say them out publicly, but they're really impressive. It's a really big brand. And if they are doing this, exactly the things that we covered in the previous session, it's just, once again, social proof that these things are really the things that work and bring results. So we're going to start with their pop-up. $20 off your first order. Once again, gym equipment is more costly than, for example, clothing, so they can get away with a higher flat dollar-based discount, $20 off, as opposed to doing percentage-based. And they include a mobile sign-up field. It's optional, but if you want to, you can subscribe for their SMS marketing. And overall, a really great minimalistic design. It kind of guides your attention to where they want it to be. In case you're looking here, they're like, no, look here. Here's where the sign-up form is. $20 off your first order, a little bit more information, and then sign up. Nothing extra, not too much text, really great, and a nice, bright, standing out CTA button. Okay. Then here's their welcome email. The reason I included this one is because it has been adjusted a little bit for Black Friday. That's something that we talked in the previous session, that you have to make sure that if you have any Black Friday specific deals or promotions or a pop-up form that says Black Friday $20 off, you have to make sure that you update your welcome automation to deliver that exact thing and to also say something about Black Friday. So that's exactly what they do here. Welcome 20 for $20 off, and you will be the first to know about Black Friday. Stay tuned. And then on top of that, they're also including 2,100 plus 5-star reviews that you can go and read. There's that social proof for you, and a clear redeem CTA to go and take advantage of that welcome 20 discount code. The next message is something that they started sending out for Black Friday, particularly on the 9th of November, back when we hosted our first Black Friday and Cyber Monday session. What a coincidence, right? We told you guys, start early, start as early as possible. That means today, right after the session, go and send your first email. And this particular brand sent out this pre-Black Friday email, kind of hyping up their audience, getting them interested, getting them bought in, particularly on November 9th. So if you want to start now, it's also a great time to start, right? The best time to plant a tree was yesterday. The second best time is today. The same goes for Black Friday marketing. So really, we're not going to get into too much detail here, right? We don't have much time left, but a really good email pointing out the main value points of joining the rewards club. You have a CTA to join the club at the end. You have a duplicate CTA in the middle of the email, exactly what me and Gabe talked about, something that could be improved for one of the previous emails, and overall a really minimal design. And once again, emojis in the CTA. Here's another email, the one that Katrina received, I think, 1 week or close to 1 week after that previous one. And you can see that the design is pretty much identical. What they did is they changed this text here. They changed this here. It said only a few weeks until Black Friday. In the second email, it says less than 14 days until Black Friday. And they're basically reiterating the same point, trying to keep their audience's attention on the fact that Black Friday is coming up and Gym Direct is going to have a lot of awesome deals. And finally, they are using SMS. So, well, as I said, everything that we talked about in the previous session, and on top of that, SMS, which we also talked about. So this is the perfect example for our Black Friday and Cyber Monday recommended strategies. This one is for a abandoned cart. I wasn't able to find any Black Friday or Cyber Monday themed ones for SMS for this brand, but for their abandoned cart, as Katrina told me, they're doing 3 automation splits for 3 different card values and sending 3 different SMS messages for those 3 different card sums. And it's really, really big on driving urgency here. It starts off with, you might want to hurry, contact first name, ... Really clickbaity, right? But drives massive urgency. And I absolutely love it. And they say that there's high demand. We're going to have to clear your cart. Before we do, you have a last chance to tab below and get your items back. So a really great example of SMS combined with urgency, combined with abandoned cart automations, okay? If you have anything to add, Gabe and George, feel free. I can go back to the examples that we covered, but I just wanted to rush through these so that we have some time left for the Q&A. But if you have any additional comments, you're absolutely welcome.
Yeah, Lexi, real quick on this SMS, just be mindful if you're sending SMS in the US or Canada, best practice is to include the brand name. So Gym Direct being an Australian company, they don't need to do that because the carrier will display the sender. But if you were sending this message in the US or Canada, basically what you would do is just right before where it says you might want to hurry, you would just add Gym Direct : you might want to hurry. That way it just gives you the brand name right at the top of it, because that contact first name will be dynamic. The abandoned cart URL will be shortened with an Omnisend link. So we save you characters there. So if if you don't include your brand name or include an image of the brand, people aren't going to know who the message is from unless they've saved your number. So just be mindful of that when you're sending from US or Canada.
All right, that's awesome. Do you have anything to add, George? Anything for any of the previous emails that I went through?
No, I think we covered everything. I think we did a really thorough job here.
All right, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for watching, for looking at all of these examples and being here with us while we, as I like to say, geek out about the email design and email content, right? Now it's time to celebrate. We're through the main part. We're going to have a quick Q&A right now, for as many questions as we have. Obviously, we're going to be here for until the very last question comes in and is answered. But everyone, if you've stick through until the end, it's time to celebrate. The second session is through. If you've been to both of the sessions, that's just amazing. Great job on your part. Great job learning so much. And if you're already applying some of these strategies, some of these tips that you've learned throughout these 2 sessions, a huge kudos to you. Thank you, everyone, for participating and being here with us. So right now, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I think there's nothing else to the presentation. Oh, right. The useful resources, as always, Omnisend's Black Friday and Cyber Monday Hub for better marketing. You see the link on the screen right now. After I stop sharing my screen, I'm going to paste the link into the chat for everyone to be able to go to. There's a lot of resources there for further reading, videos and blog posts and other events that you can attend or watch recordings of to further your Black Friday and Cyber Monday knowledge. And then more resources that we personally use. Reallygoodemails.com is my favorite resource for browsing great email examples. Mill.com is something that Gabe uses primarily, if I'm not mistaken. Omnisend.com/blog. I see some messages in the chat that Omnisend website is down currently. What a bummer. But after the webinar, you can check out the blog. And Pinterest.com is another not so obvious place that you can also use for browsing great email examples. Okay. And that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. We wish you a record-breaking Black Friday and Cyber Monday. As always, our success is your success here at Omnisend. So we really wish that you guys absolutely crush it this year and see some record-breaking sales on your part. And with that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and let's take it to the Q&A. Now, George, Gabe, have you seen any interesting questions that you want to address right off the bat here?
Not yet. Let me pull this up.
Yeah, I think they all look great. So, I mean, I think we can run down the list because I think they're all fantastic. So the first question is just, are emails with videos and GIFs more favorable? It's like anything, right? Emojis, or what's the saying? Too much of anything is not good. So mixing it up, right? Doing pattern interrupts, changing it up is huge. We're seeing a little uptick in text-based only emails, which is kind of counter to what we were talking about, where it's image-based only emails, because you can write that copy as a one-to-one communication. So, kind of playing around with different things, testing different types of emails is going to help you determine what resonates best with your customers. So GIFs or GIFs, that's a whole nother webinar topic. We can talk about how to pronounce that. But, if they're not hard to make and that adds a little bit of creativity and fun to your email, then use it. If it's going to take you an extra 15 minutes to create and you don't have that 15 minutes to spare, then don't stress about it. Remember, keep it simple. The goal is to have fun. The goal is to get emails out the door and drive revenue for you. So George, I don't know if you have any additional thoughts on that.
That's it. I mean, understand what your brand voice is and give yourself a personality in what you're trying to say and test. Everybody's business is different and their customer base reacts differently to certain things. So let the data take you in a direction to where you think you're going to see optimal success.
All right. Thank you so much for your question. And, I said, have you seen any great questions in the chat, guys? I might have expressed myself wrong. I meant that I have not been looking at the Q&A section yet. Have you guys taken a look?
Yeah.
Is there any questions we can answer? That's what I meant. Okay, I see another one that Oscar just answered. It was a technical question about how to add social media buttons to emails. And I see another question, a lengthy one from Razvan. So let's read that one out loud, see what it's about. Let's say after spending 1 week building the perfect Black Friday, I started and I realized I made a mistake on the flow. And instead of a 1 day pause between the emails, I have a 1 year pause. Or another scenario, I want to add a split condition to the flow or add a tag step. As far as I know, I can only make changes to these emails to the email's content for a running flow. So what can I do in my case? I'm pretty sure that you can actually change those things.
Yeah, that's more of a technical question. We should definitely leverage support. I'm sure Oscar will chime in. And then, Razvan, if we can figure out a time to get connected with you, we'll definitely help you walk through that. But Oscar is our subject matter expert and product expert, so he will definitely help you walk through that. I think Ben's question is great. How many emails is too many on a given day during the Black Friday, Cyber Monday rush? I think for that, you have to look at your contact list and email fatigue. So the question is, if Ben, you're obviously going to know your client base. If you've sent one email in the last 6 months, do not send 4 emails on Black Friday, right? Like your customer base is going to be like, what are you doing? But if you send a couple times a week, send an email in the morning, if it does well and you want to send a follow-up email that afternoon or around noontime, like lunch break, let's play around with this, and that one still performs well, then send a third email. Like that's okay if there's a purpose to it. It's constantly finding that balance between sending an email to drive more revenue and with a purpose versus sending an email just to send an email. And George, I think this again ties back to your 3 C's, but
that's absolutely great. Do you have anything to add to that, George? Because I definitely cannot cover it better than Gabe.
Neither can I. He aced it.
All right, that's awesome. Hope that answers your question. A comment from Will. Hey, love your work, guys. Hey, we love all of you guys. That's why we work and work well and make you guys love us. It's mutual.
I tried to give him a thumbs up, but I think that meant I answered it. I don't know. And then Razvan asks, can he show a pop-up only to the people that are not already on my list? So it's based on the cookies, Razvan. So yes, that can be annoying, especially when you're launching a new pop-up, but that's a great opportunity. You can play with the pop-ups. If you go to reallygoodemails.com, which is one of our favorite sites, their pop-up is brilliant, and it's a lot of fun, and kind of plays into that, like, hey, we're not going to be perfect. So again, by default, if a customer's cookied, they're not going to see that pop up. So if they dismiss it, they'll be cookied. They won't see it again. Obviously, if they clear their cookies or they're browsing incognito, it's a limit of the technology that we have. We do the best we can. And again, just kind of being transparent in your communication there is good. And then kind of in the same vein of the pop-up, George, I'll let you take this one first. It says, on an Omnisend pop-up, should we just ask for email or full contact details? Does it affect the success of the pop-up?
It does. So, I mean, the more fields that you add in there, the more friction you're going to create. Now, I think it's okay. You're not going to see too much of a drop off if you collect a couple pieces of data. So if you get their email address and maybe first and last name, you can leverage that. But one of the things that I really recommend is we don't want to see a downtick in the signups that we get. So let's capture who they actually are first, get their email address. Then let's maybe use something like the preference center email, where we can ask our customers then to add additional information in there. Maybe we want to know what their birthday is, their phone number, where exactly they live. Once you capture them, then use that preference center email to send out to them where they can physically go in there and do those updates themselves.
Yeah, and I agree. And I think, kind of playing around with the intent of the pop-up, right? So if it's exclusive, if it's hey, we want to know your birthday, all of those types of things. And some good news, omnisend.com is back up. Google has fixed their stuff. So the web page is loading. So there you go.
Awesome. Great to hear. All right. I hope that answers your question, Will. We have another one from an anonymous attendee. how to add some email templates from really good emails to Omnisend email. Unfortunately, I don't think that we can do that. Now, I might be mistaken, and there's some magical integration way that Oscar maybe has the knowledge of and can tell us about. But from what I know, you can just open them up and try to replicate them to the best of your ability.
That's correct.
And that's it for the Q&A for now. So let's take for another minute, see if anyone has any other final questions. So this is like your last chance for today to ask questions in the live Q&A. But obviously, as always, feel free to reach out to us personally. Our email addresses are really simple: alexi@omnisend.com, gabe@omnisend.com, and george@omnisend.com. And if you forget all of those, there's also academy@omnisend.com, which might be easier to remember. So either one of those, reach out to us with any of your questions, and we will always happily reply and help you out. Okay, I'm not seeing any more questions in the Q&A, so I think let's call this one a wrap. Yeah. I'm seeing that nobody objects. So that was a bit of an awkward silence. Thank you, guys. But let's wrap up today's session. I would like to say just thank you for everyone thank you to everyone for helping make this session happen. First and foremost, that's you, our amazing audience. You are the reason we're doing these live events, to give you the opportunity to communicate with us live, to interact with us live, to ask us questions in a live format. So thank you so much for inspiring us and for making us do this, and for sticking through with us until the very end. One last time, thank you so much, George and Gabe. Actually, not the last time. I'm definitely going to text you in Slack after this to say thank you again. So once again, thank you so much for taking the time to participate with me today. Thank you, Vitali, for being with us today as well, making the shot a little bit greener. He's present in all of Omnisend's videos. So, and he never gets the recognition he deserves. So thank you so much, Vitali. All right, and I think I've handed out enough thank yous for today. We're going to wrap this session up. Gabe, George, do you have anything to add?
For listening in, and have a really a great holiday season.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. And without a doubt, we are definitely real people doing this live, which means we're just like you guys. So we're in the same seat as you all. We're definitely passionate about what we do. So best of luck, everyone, and thank you so much.
Yep, thank you so much, and best of luck crushing it this Black Friday and Cyber Monday season. Bye, everyone.